Well, India-Bangladesh ties are definitely going to sink further, and it's because of an absurd statement that's been put out by the Foreign Ministry in Bangladesh, where it accuses the Awami League, which was ousted from power last year, of running anti-Bangladesh activities from Indian soil and having even opened offices in New Delhi and Kolkata. That's what the statement says, saying that this is an affront against the people of Bangladesh and may trigger anti-India sentiments in the country. That's something that Bangladesh is saying. It's also saying it has the potential to affect relations. Now, India-Bangladesh ties have been strained, as you know, but this particular statement from Bangladesh is something that goes against the very principles that India's foreign policy has been based upon. That is, we don't allow our soil to be used for activities against another country. That's something that's been a central tenet of Indian foreign policy, and therefore, when Bangladesh makes such an accusation or such a statement, especially from its foreign ministry, this is not from an individual or from any agency, but it's come from the foreign ministry itself, then of course India has to respond, and India has responded. Now, India has said very clearly that India is not aware of any anti-India, anti-Bangladesh activities from Indian soil, and also that the statement put out by Bangladesh is misplaced, and also saying that India expects free, fair and inclusive elections soon. And that's where the nuance comes in. Now, Bangladesh and people in Bangladesh, including the chief advisor of the interim government, have made anti-India statements. It's especially on India's northeast. That's something that's on record. However, what has also happened is that India has now, of course, responded with several measures like, restricting imports, etc., withdrawing transshipment facilities, etc. All of that has happened. But now, of course, this is something that India has had to respond to. And this, like we said, is important because if you look at the last few sentences of India's statement that followed the statement from Bangladesh, it's very clear. Firstly, the Awami League has been banned from participating in elections. And therefore, India is saying that, look, what we expect is free, fair and inclusive elections in Bangladesh, something that the world would want to see in Bangladesh. And therefore, to have one party being banned from contesting elections rather than having the people decide who they want, and if they don't want the Awami League, they will not vote for them. But again, the interim government has gone ahead and banned the Awami League in Bangladesh, and that also is something that's been discussed at a larger level. But at this point, what you know is that India has made that point also about elections, which is something that everyone's looking forward to in Bangladesh, and the world is watching, and especially India is watching, because these elections are something that the current interim government has tried to put on hold, tried to delay. However, they finally had to declare elections, and those elections are taking place next year before Ramzan. But this statement from Bangladesh is a further dampener and will sink India-Bangladesh ties further, which is already quite strained since the events of last year, and also the comments made by none other than the chief advisor of the interim government. And India has, of course, put out a very sharp, to the point and brief response, which makes India's position very clear. One, that is, we don't allow our territory to be used for any country activities. And secondly, India expects free, fair, inclusive elections, and most importantly, India also making the point that the statement from Bangladesh is misplaced. For more such videos, stay tuned to NDTV's YouTube platform, where we bring you the news behind the headlines and give you the context in which the news developments are taking place. For all the news and latest updates, stay tuned to NDTV. Thank you so much for watching.